What is up, YouTube? HPJ here, and I'm coming to you guys with a Madolche deck profile. This is the last of the first wave of retro deck profiles for the channel. And I couldn't wait to get to Madolche because there's a lot that I love about Madolche. And there's a lot of changes that Madolche has gone through over the years since their introduction in Return of the Duelist. So, yeah, definitely a lot for this Exceed archetype that definitely takes itself by storm. And I have a lot to say about it, so I think what I'm going to do is go straight into the deck profile because that's what everyone is here for. And I'll deal with the explanations and stuff right after. So, this is the early 2017 list. This is the list that changed before Maxi was forbidden and all the Zodiac stuff came around. So, we're going to start off the list with the monsters. We have triple copies of Madolche and Jelly. Actually, we're going to put Madolche and Jelly in the middle. There we go. So, there are triple copies of Madolche and Jelly. Then that's followed by triple copies of Madolche Madolche. And then triple copies of Madolche Hoot Cake. For the Madolche monsters, we have 2 copies of Madolche Messengelato. 2 copies of Madolche Mufilo. And that's it for the monsters. Oh, well, for the Madolche monsters. For the rest of the monsters in the deck, I have triple copies of the Esper Girl. Then 1 copy of Psychic Commander. 1 Thunder King Ryo. 3 Ash Blossom Enjoy Your Spring. 2 Effect Veiler. And the 1 copy of Maxi. For the spells, double copies of Madolche Chateau and double copies of Madolche Ticket. Then, 1 Instant Fusion, 1 Reinforcement of Army, 1 Emergency Teleport, 1 Mind Control, and 1 Regeki. That is it for the spells. For the traps, 2 Breakthrough Skill, 1 Time Space Trap Hole, 1 Treacherous Trap Hole Nightmare, 1 Bottomless Trap Hole, 1 Compulsory Evacuation Device, and 1 Solemn Warning. Alright, that is it for the main deck. That is a total of 40. For the extra, 2 copies of Madolche Queen, Tiara Misu, 1 copy of Abyss Dweller, 1 copy of Gaga Cowboy, 1 copy of Cora Gorgon, the Anti-Luminescent Knight, 1 copy of Trap Trick Triflacia, 1 copy of Leviair the Sea Dragon, 1 copy of MX Saber Invoker, 1 copy of Wind Up Zenmaines, 1 copy of number 101, the Silent Honor Arc, 1 copy of number 106, the Giant Hand, 1 copy of 1 copy of Fusionist, then 1 copy of Cabanara Warrior, 1 copy of Madolche Materia Beast, and 1 copy of Materia Barkion. And that is it for the extra deck monsters. That is a total of 15 monsters in the extra deck with a total of 15 cards in the main deck. So, going overall, Madolche is an archetype that has a ton of advantages to itself. Archetype that is able to recycle its resources while also being able to put out tons of monsters and boards because of its abilities that correspond with their monsters being sent to the graveyard and then being able to send themselves back into the deck. Now, the bright side and the downside to this is that I was trying to find builds of Madolche that I could transpire because Madolche's range of utility is so good that even when Link Monsters came out, Madolche was still a threat to deal with. It was more so Rogue because Madolche can pop up anywhere and still, for some weird reason, have a good advantage against things. The only problem is that Madolche doesn't have a lot of negation under their own belt. But they have a lot of cards to do protect and retrieve, which is still pretty good for an archetype lasting this long. Now, the reason why I picked this build and I didn't wait till putting Setsu was simply just because I could have did the same thing with was it not Madolche, but with Sky Striker, and I could have just picked 2019, since I did have a fairly strong build for 2019, because I actually would have borrowed a list a friend of mine had, but I felt that it would be better just to have a list that I preferably had built or was inspired by someone else in terms of our build overall. So there's a lot of friends that inspired this build because they were playing Madolche at the time. So the triple copies of Madolche and Jelly. And Jelly is basically the Lone Fire Blossom for the archetype. She contributes herself to the special summon a Madolche monster from your deck. And that Madolche monster cannot be destroyed by battle and returns to the deck during the end of your opponent's next turn. The thing about this is that you would pop her so you can go get Hoot Cake. And then you would use Hoot Cake's ability to banish her, and then you would get more monsters and stuff to the field to set up for combo plays. This was honestly one of the best things for Madolche because the one issue Madolche had was they did not have a main deck fairy monster that was below level 5. And you had to access the extra deck if you wanted to touch into Madolche Queen Tiara's Misu to trigger off things like your Madolche ticket. And some of the side effects of cards to also retrieve and get things together. So now having access to Angeli, you have a built-in archetype Lone Fire Blossom that gives battle protection, but also gives you the ability to get a monster that can also help you search for more monsters, while also clearing out your graveyard for other cards and potential effects, in addition to what your archetype is known for doing. And that was a great addition to the archetype, because we're going to talk more about Hoot Cake in just a minute. Next up we got to talk about is Madolche. Madolche is basically the Stratos of the deck. For basically a normal summon, you're able to search your deck for any Madolche monster and add it to your hand. So if you have ways to stack on the additional summons with stuff like double summon and things, later on in the game, we got Madolche Salon, which gave us an additional normal summon for Madolche monsters in addition to the normal summoner set. So you're basically playing off of a lot of combo plays at that point, especially because you have a level 4 monster that can also correspond with other level 4 monsters, so that you can go into your Queen, your Glass Souffle, or any other rank 4 monsters, because that was one of the 2 pulls that Madolche's have. They have pulled to rank 3 into rank 4, while also having the plethora of things that utilizes a lot of the other abilities of cards that can do. But the main thing about Madolche was, well, she's your shadow. She's able to search for your monsters. The next one up is, of course, everyone's big favorite, and that is Madolche Hoot Cake. Hoot Cake's ability is that it's able to banish any monster in your graveyard, choose then special summon a Madolche monster from your deck. Now, this is a monster that you combine it with Angeli, so that when Hoot Cake is summoned off of Angeli, Hoot Cake can be destroyed in battle. And then on top of that, Hoot Cake can then banish a card in the graveyard to then summon another Madolche monster. Because at this point, you're going to go for Gelato. If you haven't already normal summoned a monster off of Hoot Cake, normal summon Mufilo, normal summon the Hoot Cake card Angeli, and then try to play off even more strategies and setups there, because the strategies and setup in the wake up game is bonkers with how the combo started getting. Speaking of Gelato, here he is, Madolche Gelato. This is the monster that when special summoned, you can add any spell or trap, any Madolche spell or trap card from your deck to your hand, but you have to control a beast type Madolche monster. Luckily, with the 2 that the deck definitely takes advantage of, you're going to be perfectly fine. Because Gelato can be summoned off of Hoot Cake, or he can be summoned off of Mufilo. And the thing about Mufilo is that it works like Marauding Captain. You know, once they're summoned, they're able to summon another monster to the board. There isn't the ability of being able to redirect the attacks to Mufilo or away from Mufilo. That's Chevalier's ability. But the overall thing is that you have a way to help summon Gelato, and then that gives Gelato the ability to search for your spells and traps, and then you can get all your link plays and all your shenanigans and stuff from there, because more extenders. It's crazy though, because then as talking about extenders, we get tons of extenders from Madolche later on with Pudding, Sessa, Salon, and even get some defenses and negation thanks to Parmamade. So, alright, that is it for all the Madolche monsters. 3 Angeli, 3 search from Madolche, the triple hoot cake are definitely must-haves. I was going to bump up the Messenger Lotto, but I feel like the 2 is alright because of all the recycling that the deck does on its own. So, yeah. Now we're going to talk about all the non-Madolche monsters. So, why is Esper Girl here? Well, Esper Girl is here because I couldn't find any decent enough Psychic-type monsters or Earth-attributed tuners at that point in time. I'm sure there's many. Don't get me wrong. But the thing about Esper Girl is that Esper Girl was a really easy access card that I have on me. And the other factor is that I'm able to synchro into stuff like Beast and Barkion. Now, why are Beast and Barkion in the extra deck? Well, I'll get to those in a minute, but Esper Girl is here to help conduct a lot of synchro summons, as well as the other Psychic tuner, Psychic Commander. So, with 2 of the lowest levels for easier access to things in the deck, I have easy access to level 6, I have easy access to potentially a level 5, even a level 7 if need be. Probably even a level 8 if I play the cards right. But, yeah, these 2 are definitely good things. And funny enough, one of my friends, her name's Evelyn, she played Madolche's, and this was actually 2 of the monsters that she used in her build to help speed up. I think she did use some other Psychic tuners as well. I think Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit were around, so you can E-Telly her out, and then you can take advantage of that, because I don't know how far in Ash Blossom was, but I do believe Ash Blossom was in the same set as, I think that's Crimson, not Crimson Crisis, a Cosmo Blazer, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, we definitely did have access to Ash and them, who are going to be up next in this conversation. But yeah, Esper Girl was definitely the insight thought, and so was Psychic Commander. So, then moving on from there, the One Thunder King Ryo. Ryo is just the beast of a monster to help support. You don't have to run Ryo. You can take Ryo out. But it was just one of those standalone cards that you can easily, you know, put in, put out, and you probably put in some other traps and stuff if need be. Then we have, of course, the hand traps. We have the Ash Blossom, we have the Effect Veiler, and the One Solid Maxi. While this One Solid Maxi put in such a tremendous effort, only to be forbidden later on in the TCG, Ash Veiler definitely do help out with the hand combo, with the combo negation and the hand traps, issues there, because, you know, Ash can stop stuff that's being just summoned from the deck, sending cards from the deck to the grave, being able to add cards from the deck, and most decks at this point in time do all of those. So at least you have a way to stop one thing without stopping the other or dealing with the other in solution, and you can then stack on all the other hand traps to help you with those scenarios in case Ash can get to one, the others can help with the other. Veiler to stop monster effects, which can be very problematic themselves, and Maxi is the additional draw power, which is something the deck doesn't often happen, but it happens, because when Pot of Extravagance and stuff started coming out, the later builds of Madolche really started focusing on utilizing those cards. So maybe I'll probably give you a moderate update to Madolche soon. But yeah, that is basically it for the monsters. And I know this is like a big portion of it because I've really just talked about monsters and stuff for the rest of it. But now we're going to go on to the spells and traps. The Madolche Field spell, Madolche Chateau, giving 500 attack and defense to all the Madolche monsters on the field. Fine. But the thing about this card is that the ability to shuffle back all your Madolche monsters from your deck to the graveyard, from your graveyard into the deck, helps with so many different combinations. Triggers so many different abilities. And mind you, this is only before you start putting the fairy type Madolche monsters onto the board. Then on top of that, you have the ability that if your Madolche monsters would be sent to the graveyard, then they're going sent to your graveyard would go back to the deck. They're going to go to your hand instead. The only problem is that I don't have a Madolche Palooza. Madolche Palooza is actually supposed to be in this deck, so you probably take that out for the Ryo. And what Madolche Palooza is supposed to do is allow you to do the Massive Swarm that the deck's capable of doing. Because once you bring all these monsters to the board, then you're supposed to do your Exceed, your Link summons, and all of that. You know, your big summons. I forgot I didn't have a Madolche Palooza before I recorded this. And I was like, oops. Yeah, so Madolche Palooza is definitely supposed to be in here for the added additional setup. So my apologies for that. And one of the big combos that you do get off of it is Madolche Ticket, because Ticket's effect is that whenever a Madolche monster would return back into the hand or deck, or main deck, I should clarify that, then you're able to set summon a Madolche monster. No, you're able to add a Madolche monster from your deck to your hand with a different name, but you can also special summon that monster if you control a fairy type Madolche monster. So people also have to account to, you know, why people were so excited for Angeli and stuff. Oh, excuse me, I needed that. Was because of the fact that we didn't have a lot of main deck support for our Madolche fairy type monsters. We only had one, and even then it was a stretch to get her to the board. But once we started getting everybody else and we started, you know, realigning things, it made things a lot easier. And Ticket and Chateau are great additions because you can recycle your field spell, you recycle your continuous spell, gain the benefits from them, and they can even support each other, which is crazy. So, alright, we move on from the two of them. And then we go on to all these one-ofs. Instant Fusion, to grab the 2 Instant Fusion targets we have here. We could run a third if you wanted to, in the form of Sabersaurus, because it'd be an Earth monster, which works well with the deck. You know, all your Synchro and Exceed plays off of that as well. Just a whole bunch of things you can easily do thanks to Instant Fusion. Norden is not in here because Norden ended up being banned, according to the list that I'm running. So if I was to go maybe back a year to like 2016, then Norden would definitely be in the extra deck. But also, instead of Instant Fusion would also be running rapid like crazy too. But it still is anyway. So yeah, good combo extender thanks to the Instant Fusion. Reinforcement of the army, in case you have me feel like you can always just bring in. I was also run our boy Spell Striker, because you can banish your spells and then bring Spell Striker out for free. And remember, he's a warrior, so you can reinforce, you can Rhoda him and then banish him to then special summon. Excuse me, to banish the Rhoda to special summon him, and you got a free level 3 on the board. So, all the advantages. We have E-Telly, of course, to bring out our Psychic type monsters, the Esper Girl or the Psychic Commander. You can put in Ghost Rabbit, because she's psychic, ironically enough. Mind Control to steal your opponent's monsters and take advantage of them for your own personal usage. And then Raigeki to clear the board, because Dark Hole is not a good thing in Madolche, because you can't get your monsters back. So, alright, then for the trap cards, outside of Palooza not being here, Breakthrough Skill. You can put in Fiendish Chain if you wanted to, but I figured Breakthrough Skill would just be an easier thing to mess around with. But, you know, your options may vary. A triple set of whole trap cards thanks to Rafflesia. You can put in Treacherous Trap Hole. You can put in Deep Dark Trap Hole. You can put in just a good array of trap hole cards. And Rafflesia can help you take advantage of them. My best bet is just to run out with a couple of these, because these were basically just the ones that at the time just superb setup for the deck. Bottomless, Trap Trick, Trap Hole Nightmare, and then Time Space Trap Hole. Then we have Compulsory, and we have Warning, because I think Judgment was back right after. But the thing about it is that Judgment has its own, like the Solemn Brigade at that point would just be 2 warnings and a Judgment. And I mean, because life points don't really matter at most points in time. Like, you can rock it if you want to. But yeah, I just wanted to fill in some space with things. So Compulsion, Warning definitely came in handy. I think more so Warning and Judgment and them come in handy. And I think Scolding was also out at that point too. Going into the extra deck, we have the Madolche Queen, Tiara Misu, who can return Madolche cards back to the deck to return cards on the field back to your opponent's deck. Great way to just recycle your support. Great way to deal with interrupting your opponent's combos. Excuse me, and just a really good setup. It's funny though, because they did an errata conditions with Madolche Queen to basically say she can do what Emerald can't. And for those who don't know what Emerald is, I'm talking about Daigusto Emerald, who even if he detaches the material, there has to be enough cards in the graveyard for him to recognize the effect. Because of her wording, she actually gets over that. Because I believe he says up to the number of cards. Yep, up to the number of Madolche cards. So you can easily fill up your graveyard and just choose one, or you can choose both because now there's 2 material in the grave. Hold on 1 second because I want to make sure this is right. There we go. So yeah, there's a lot to benefit off of that, and that's why Tiramisu was doing really exceptionally well as the boss monster of the archetype. She's always the boss monster archetype. She just doesn't negate or destroy, but she does remove things out of the game. That's why Parma Maid is such a good card, because it does the negating. We have the Abyss Dweller for the graveyard effects. We have Cowboy for the 800 points damage. We have Gorgon, the anti-luminescent tonight, to help us redirect card effects. We have Trap Trick Rafflesia to just take advantage of the trap hole trap cards in the deck. Leviair to retrieve our banished monsters from Hood Cake and Angelis. Then we have MX Saber Invoker, who can also bring monsters to the board. Primarily, you're bringing your boy, Messenger Lotto. Wind Up Zenwings for some offensive, defensive capability. Same thing with on an arc for more negation. We do have our Giant Hand. We have Fusionists to be in a sort to help out with the fusion plays and Exceed and the Synchro plays, as well as Kavanar Warrior. And then we have Beast and Barkion, who are here for negation. With the amount of extra that Earth attributed monsters you can easily just hold on to, you have tons of things you can easily access, and getting to Beast and Barkion won't be too hard. You have a left forest, you can E-Telly for Esper Girl, you can E-Telly off of Esper Girl, or Psychic Commander, you know, get some of your Beast Madolches going around. You can throw in some 7s, some 8s, and, you know, whatever range of things you can, and bam, there you go. You have a solid setup for some Synchro monsters if you don't want to play around with too many Exceeds. So, yeah, that's pretty much it, guys, for this deck profile. If there's anything you would like to suggest for anyone who wants to play Madolche in the retro set, let them know in the comment section below, because I'm sure many of them would like to. I do want to just, like I said, if I had the Palooza would definitely be in here. Probably 2 of them, just because how good Palooza was. But other than that, yeah, that's pretty much about it for this deck profile. I'm glad we are done with wave 1 of the retro deck profiles. I hope you all enjoyed them, and there will be more to come soon. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel, as it helps out tremendously. You can hit the notification bell to be informed of when I upload more content to the channel. Social media links are in the description box below, and with that said, HTJ signing out. Take care.